Good noon. Welcome to our weekly spiritual spa, your Sunday spiritual indulgence, if you will. Our intention here is to help you feel better if you're feeling bad and to help you feel even better if you're feeling fine. The founder of religious science, Ernest Holmes, used to open his radio and his television shows with the words, "There is a power for good in the universe, and you can use it." I believe that, but I also believe that we can't not use it. In fact, I believe we're using it all the time. So the important part of Dr. Holmes' admonition was to remember to use it for good. So I'm going to ask you to go within for a moment and consider this idea. Let's take a breath, if you will, and close your eyes if that's comfortable. I am, we are, here to remember who we are. We are children of creation. I am, we are, here to remember that we are created in the image and likeness of God. Creation, the universe, whatever you choose to call the creative motivating force of the universe. I am, we are, here to heal our misconceptions, to be awake, to inspire, to uplift, to heal and to make whole our families, our friends, our world, and ourselves. I am, we are, here to learn how to use our divine inheritance to make our lives and our world a better place. I believe that all of that is true. And I'm going to ask you, if you will, to repeat after me so that we can all come together and be playing off the same page. So if you will repeat after me. Centered in spirit, I know.
Centered in spirit, I know.
That there is a creative, motivating power in the universe.
That there is a creative, motivating power in the universe.
It is the intelligence.
It is the intelligence.
It is the power.
It is the power.
And it is the love.
And it is the love.
Behind all of creation.
Behind all of creation.
And it is the life within me.
And it is the life within me.
I know it.
I know it.
I feel it.
I feel it.
I believe it.
I believe it.
And I accept it.
And I accept it.
And so it is.
And so it is.
There. So, how did that feel? How do you feel? How's your spirit? How's your week been going? How's your life been going? See, I believe we each have the power within us to be a positive force in the universe. Brighter, stronger, more aware, more involved, more active in the production of a greater life. So, who shall we be? Let us be large enough. Let us care enough. Let us learn enough to make a positive difference in order to be a beneficial presence in this world. Let us not litter our minds with regrets or hatred. Life is too short to live in the past. Who do you want to be? Let your life become a memorial to what matters. I believe that there's a perfect pattern within each of us that will be revealed. Why not let that revealing take place today? You know, there's a lot of talk about transparency these days. You hear it everywhere, sometimes appropriately, sometimes not so appropriately. But I came across this quote the other day, and I just love it. It's by Command Kajuri. And he says simply, you have to be transparent so you no longer cast a shadow, but instead let the light pass through you. Isn't that a lovely thought? That we can allow the light to pass through us and shine on everything and everyone that we are engaged in and with and for. Well, let's see. I'm going to check in with all of you for a couple of minutes here and just see how things are going. Hello, Jennifer. Hello, Heidi. Things are churning. Uh-oh, and her patience is running thin. Look out, world. Lots of pots boiling. Things are cooking. All right. I got you, Jen. I got you. You know, you can be more in tune and still working on a whole lot. Most of us have spent lifetimes misunderstanding and or doubting or falling prey to other people's opinions, the world's opinions, our own fears. And it takes a while to undo all of that. The thing is to keep working on it. And I know you are. Hi, Kirk. Glad you're here. Yay. So, Heidi, lots of pots, huh? Good stuff in those pots? Good stuff in those pots? Or frustration in those pots? What's going on? Talk to me. Let's see if we can work on that a little bit so that you can be transparent and let the light shine through you, because the light would shine through you so beautifully. It does shine through you so beautifully. I had some of my favorite people here so far this morning. I'm very excited. I am. I love y'all. And I started out by saying good noon. I am so pleased with myself for remembering that there's not going to be any undoing. The technical department is talking to itself over there, I think, or something is talking to the technical department. So if you hear a little stuff in the background, ignore it. It's the voices in your head, in our heads, that do more damage than the voices that are exterior to us. I know that. Heidi, I would say the answer to the question, do I turn up the heat, let it simmer, or turn it off, is what do you want? What do you want? What do you really want? Not what do you think you should want or what does somebody else say you should want, but what do you really want? What is the highest good? What will create the highest good in your life and therefore in the life of the world, because everything's interconnected? What do you want? That should tell you exactly what to do. Good afternoon, Dana. Oh, we are so glad you are here. How are you feeling? I know you're healing, because that's what we're praying for. And I know prayer works. But I'm so glad you're here. And we are praying as well for John. So if I need an update there, please let me have that so that I know what is going on in your life and your family's life and your son's life, since I'm kind of spiritually responsible for part of it. I love the idea. I said it accidentally on Wednesday, but I love the idea that we're a spiritual spa. It's a place you go to feel better. don't you? And have things move around and get unstuck. A Sunday spiritual indulgence, if you will. Stop at the spiritual spa along the way to whatever great things you're going to be doing. So let me see. Hello, Brenda. So while we are gathering our thoughts around us, all of us gathering our thoughts. Good thought, Jennifer. It does depend on what you're cooking, doesn't it? Whether you turn it up, turn it off, or just let it simmer. On the other hand, it also depends on what you want. Yeah, how well done do you want it to be? There you go. So I'm going to just kind of launch, if you don't mind, into what I'd like to talk about, because I'm kind of excited about it. I don't know why I'm excited about it, but I am. So bear with me, if you will. Now, since I was talking about transparency and the interests of transparency before I launch into today's talk, I have to confess that I'm a real fan of science fiction, novels especially. Some people read romance novels to escape reality. Some people read The Inquirer. I read and really enjoy Douglas Adams, who is the author of the very different and often philosophically conflicting Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency, which is just a kick, and The Long Dark Tea Time of the Soul. I highly recommend all of them, provided you kind of like sci-fi stuff. In one of them, and I honestly cannot remember which one, he gives instructions for flying. He says, from whatever height, throw yourself at the ground, and at the last minute, get distracted, and you'll soar. The instructions probably should contain a warning to consumers. Don't try this at home. It should only be attempted by a professional. My question then would be, a professional what? Or maybe better yet, don't try this at all. It's a figment of a hallucinating writer's imagination, and it's not meant to be taken seriously. It's not real. Not like Bigfoot or aliens in shiny silver spaceships that are shaped like Tic Tacs. Which brings me to the observation that the pandemic must be slowing down, because UFOs are back in the news. The government has released a report, or is about to release a report. I'm still not sure if it's been, I think it's not officially released till it goes to Congress, but it's being leaked everywhere, about its findings on those shiny silver things that keep appearing in our skies. According to the Associated Press, the tantalizing prospect of top government intel finally weighing in after decades of conspiracy theories, TV shows, movies, and winking jokes by presidents will instead yield more mundane reality that's not likely to change many minds on any side of the issue. Investigators, AP says, have found no evidence that the sightings are linked to aliens. But they admit they can't deny a link either. The report also doesn't rule out that what pilots have seen and videotaped may be new technologies developed by other countries. One of the officials also said that there's no indication the unexplained phenomena are from secret U.S. programs. So, bottom line, whatever or whoever they are, they're still out there. U.S. intelligence is after them, but its upcoming report won't deliver any full or final truths about the UFOs. That's Associated Press. Then on CNN last night, there was an expert who previously worked for the government agency that tracks reports of the sightings of unidentified flying objects. He questioned that it could be the work of a foreign country, since sightings have been happening since the early 30s, when no country could have been that advanced. Are they UFOs? Ultimately, he said the same thing as the government report. Can't say that it is, and can't say that it isn't. How frustrating! Now, look, it's not my intention to discuss the reality or fantasy of UFOs or their activities of alien abduction. Although I do have to tell you that I am curious as to the real intelligence level of a species smart enough to travel the mega zillions of miles across space, but incapable, once getting here, of abducting anyone other than those who seem to be emotionally or intellectually challenged. That's probably not PC. But maybe it's the abduction that creates that altered state of mind. And look, today I'll ignore the question of how 5 million Americans can claim to have encountered extraterrestrials, and not a single one of them had a phone or a camera with them. We go nowhere without our phones. No, actually today I'm more concerned with the very real and dangerous problem of confabulation. Confabulation is defined as a mental process by which people remember events that did not actually occur. Or perhaps even more importantly, the creation of a fictitious memory that has all the power of a fact. And, according to the experts, there is no way, generally speaking, to tell the difference. Do you see the implications? The mind is capable of creating a fantasy that appears as the memory of a reality. The mind is capable of creating a fantasy that appears to be the memory of a reality. And you'll never know the difference. Or perhaps more specifically, your mind can tell itself a story and then believe the story it has told itself. Another thing I'm not going to go into today, but you might want to consider at some point, is the implication this whole idea of confabulation has on some claims to memory long after the fact, and the possibility that someone or something has, in fact, contaminated those memories with suggestions. But I'm not going to go into that. I might at some other point. I was intently listening yesterday to a story being told on The Moth on NPR by an emergency room doctor. And even though I missed the first part of the story, I was captivated by the ending. And I was thinking about the ending when I heard the announcer's voice saying something I had not heard before. He said, "Moth stories are the truth, as remembered by the storyteller." Now, since I had been researching and thinking on and wrapped up in confabulation, that really struck me. The truth as remembered by the storyteller. Well, I thought, doesn't that leave a lot of room for interpretation? Are we telling the truth? Or are we storytelling? Do we know the difference? And does it matter? The truth as remembered by the storyteller. How dependable is a memory? Did you have a full understanding of what was going on at the time? What did you really see? You know, they say that when there is more than one witness to an accident or a crime scene, there is more than one version of what happened. How did other people interpret the same event? How did they not see what you saw? How did you not see what they saw? There are a lot of unanswered questions. But there's one truth which I believe can brighten our days and bring peace to our nights, and maybe even transform our lives, if we'll let it. Look, if the mind, the conscious mind, the alert, aware, awake mind, can make up a story, and if the subconscious, subjective mind can't tell the difference between a made-up story and reality, and creates beliefs based upon the story it has been told, and if it is done unto us as we believe, then regardless of present circumstances, well, why not give up our frustrating searches for proof of a less than desirable reality and create a great, at least for the time being, a great fantasy? The point is this: if the mind is willing to take whatever you feed into it and run with it, why not think something good? I mean, something really good, something outrageously good. I believe the real reality is yet to be experienced by most of us. Whereas doubt or fear or confusion exists, real reality gets hidden or diffused or misinterpreted. Most of us are living, to one extent or another, some kind of fantasy anyway, aren't we? It's a compilation of stories we've fabricated, some real, some not. Stories that, because we believe, have become our reality. Okay, with apologies to Abe Lincoln, who I seem to be quoting a lot lately, you may fool all of the people some of the time, or even fool some of the people all of the time, but you can't fool all of the people all of the time, because all of the time some of the people are preoccupied fooling themselves. That last little bit, of course, is mine. I see it. You see it all the time. We search all over for reality. But the eyes that we are looking with and the mind that we are searching with may not be as rooted in real reality as we thought. So just what is reality if it's not what we think it is? According to Ernest Holmes, reality is the truth about anything. Here's what I think. The kingdom of heaven within us. That's reality. We've looked high and low. We've flown over the clouds. It's not there. Maybe it's time for us to look within instead of all around about. Holmes again. Reality, as concerning man and woman, is that God in man, as man, is man and woman. So here's the question for you. Is that the reality we are living? That God in you, as you, is you? Or are you living a non-reality that has its basis in some fantasy, some fiction? That has its basis in the fantasy that although God, creation, first cause, ultimate intelligence is all that there is, Yes, yes, you are somehow not part of the all. Perhaps you are an alien child. No, that doesn't work. Nothing is alien to creation. Or perhaps you are a stranger in a strange land. That's what Moses thought at first. Then he changed his mind. And look where it got him. Give it up. The fantasy. The non-reality. If that seems too easy, pretend that it's not. Pretend that you can just change your life by changing your mind. The brilliant writer Ashley Brilliant once wrote, "I've abandoned my search for reality and now I'm looking for a great fantasy." First time I read that, it made me laugh. Now I'm taking it pretty seriously. Why not create one? If your conscious mind can hold your dreams and your unconscious but creative mind can't tell the difference, then why not create what seems like a great fantasy and believe in it until it becomes your reality? Want me to say that again? If your conscious mind can hold your dreams, and you know it can, and your unconscious but creative mind can't tell the difference, why not create what seems like a great fantasy and believe in it until it becomes your reality? Here, in this moment, in this place, in your mind, lies your future. Your happiness, your solution, your answers, your peace, your life. Here, in this moment, in this place, in your mind, the infinite and all the power inherent in that becomes to us all that we are willing to believe it to be. Here and now, the infinite and all the power inherent in that becomes for us all that we are willing to allow it to be. Here, in this place, in your mind, fact and fantasy, dream and effect, reality and experience simply merge into one. Confabulation, great word. The creation of a fictitious memory that has all the power of fact. The creation of a fabulous, for now, fictitious memory that has the power to create new facts. New facts. You have that power. I know it seems a little fantastical. I know that. But you know, they've done some experiments on sports figures, specifically, I read some time ago, about basketball players. And they had part of a team actually practice shooting baskets for ages, and another part of the team meditating on shooting baskets, creating a mental image of shooting baskets and getting them in accurately every time. I probably don't have to tell you which of those two groups actually ended up being better. Do I? Do I? Your subconscious mind, which is the creative mind, can't tell the difference. And it seems responds to one thing even better than it does to the other. So rather than bemoaning the realities of the past, which may or may not be realities. I know, you're saying I was there, I lived it. So maybe it is a reality. Let's give it that. It was the fact. It's what happened. But do you really know all of the thought that went on behind it, the mental atmosphere in which it all happened? Do you really know any of that? We can't know all of it. And the past is the past. The memories of the past are willing to give way to the memories of the future. What will you choose? Who will you be? Here and now, today, let us choose to remember the good. Today, let us choose only love, only abundance, only wholeness. We don't need to rewrite the past. The past is past. Let it go. But we may need to rewrite the future. To choose what and who we will be. Today, let our collective memory see only oneness, only solution, only unity, only peace, and productive lives created on the dreams that something sends to us. More from Ashley Brilliant. The best reason for having dreams is that in dreams, no reasons are necessary. Take a time to step away from your reasonableness, all of which is based on the past, isn't it? Dream big. Dream outrageously. Dream extravagantly. Dream fantastically. And remember your dreams. Remember all that you have ever dreamed of being, doing, or having. And then I know that today our remembering of the good, regardless of memories of past experience, regardless of what up until now we have taken for reality, our remembering will create a transcendent, radiant, and powerful tomorrow. What will you have? What will you have? Confabulation. A mental process by which people remember events that did not actually occur. Or perhaps even more importantly, the creation of a fictitious memory that has all the power of a fact. And a mind that can't tell the difference. Feed your mind well. Feed it creatively. Feed it your dreams. And see what happens. Let's see what you've been doing over here. Kirk, we're reading the same books. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. So, how's it going, my friends? Hmm? I love the whole concept. I love the whole concept that we can literally reprogram our minds by simply being still and thinking. I mean, thinking is probably what got some of us into trouble to begin with, but thinking the right things, thinking positive things, thinking life enhancing things, thinking greater things than we have heretofore imagined for ourselves. There was a story I heard once about a young woman who was really bitter about her relationship with her mother. Really bitter. And she was at a family gathering one time, and I'm going to assume her mother either had passed on or simply wasn't there or was in another room. And an aunt or someone close to her said, "What is that all about? You used to be very close." And she said, "It all goes back to like my 12th birthday." And the aunt said, "Your 12th birthday? I was at your birthday party. What are you talking about?" And she said, "I was really enjoying the party, and I said something I guess I shouldn't have said, and my mother hit me real hard across the back of my head." And the aunt took a deep breath and said, "You've been carrying that all these years?" And she said, "Yes, I have. It was my birthday. She could have talked to me later. She thought I shouldn't have said something, or she could have whispered to me. She didn't have to hit me. It hurt, and I was embarrassed." And the aunt said, "Oh, honey, it was more than that. Your hair was on fire." Your mother hit the back of your head to put the fire out. See, we don't always know the whole story, do we? And yet we can predicate an entire life or an entire relationship on what we thought was true, and create all the animosity or all the love, all the hatred or all the affection on what we feed our mind. What do you think? I like your bumper sticker, Jen. It's a good story. We've all got them. We've all got stories in our lives about how things happened that maybe is not exactly what happened. My father died when I was very young, 5. And I don't really remember much, but I do remember a few things, and they're very vivid and they're very important, and there's a lot of emotional stuff attached to what I do remember. And I don't honestly know if any of it really ever happened or if I imagined that it did. I don't honestly know. And because it was just me and just him, there's no one I can ask. There's no loving auntie to tell me what actually happened. I just have to decide. And then I get to decide if I'm going to live with it, live because of it, or live in spite of it, don't I? I created a relationship with my father after he died as a very young little girl that worked very well because that's where I went every time I got mad at my mother, which was fairly frequently. I was apparently very much like my father and very much not like my mother. And so I can remember sitting in the bathtub at like the age of 6 going, "Why did you leave me with her?" Did she love me? Oh, yes. Overly, probably. But that wasn't in my 6-year-old mind. So I created something else. I mean, when you prayed, you said, "Our Father, which art in heaven." And I went, "Yeah, that's where mine is." But he was always there when I needed him. I think the stuff that's holding us back, and a lot of us know what that stuff is, or will know if we're willing to stop and look. The stuff that is holding us back from moving forward and being all that we really could be is stuff we need to just unremember. Detach it from the importance that we've given it with the understanding that we probably don't have all the facts anyway. And we may have laden more things on top of it over the years, which probably didn't help either. So, my question then becomes, who are you going to be? Who do you want to be? Will your life be a memorial to old memories which may or may not be accurate, or will it be a memorial to what matters? You get to decide. You get to decide, nobody else. If there are things you need more clarity on, you really need more clarity on, see if you can find someone to answer them for you. If not, then you rewrite it. Your creative mind won't know the difference. Or write a story of how you overcame, how you rose above, if you're absolutely dead sure that it happened that way. You write the story. You take control of your life back. You do that. You express spirit at the highest level because you can and you can choose to, and your mind will support you in that just as soon as you make that decision. Yeah, Heidi, I remember. And you've celebrated well, my dear. You have celebrated well. Balloons. Balloons. Balloons rise. I know that they don't like us to do balloons anymore at funerals, which I think is really kind of sad. I understand why, and I support the idea. It was a wonderful moment when the balloons went free.
So let's invent a balloon that is, recyclable.
Recyclable and doesn't hurt
Yeah.
the birdies.
It goes up and then it dissolves after an hour.
Ooh, I like that.
Okay.
Okay, if you didn't hear that, allow me to repeat it for you. CAC suggests that we invent a balloon that goes up and then dissolves, which would be an even more interesting vision, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? Okay, Kirk. I don't know why I've decided you should do this, but I think do that.
Biodegradable helium balloons.
Yeah, because the helium in the atmosphere shouldn't do any harm, should it?
No, it dissipates. It's okay.
There's a lot of sky up there.
Mm-hmm.
One of you wonderfully paper lanterns. That's a thought. Okay, you guys, get to work on this. Somebody, I think we've just created a bazillion-dollar idea here, so somebody do something about it. Spiritual spa. We're going to make you feel better. We're going to make you feel better.
And make you a millionaire.
And make you a millionaire while we're at it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Somebody work on that. Yeah, Kirk, I think, I don't know why, I've just decided you may be the one to discover how to make a helium balloon that goes up in the sky and then dissolves and disappears. So it doesn't do any ecological damage. It still has the effect of balloons rising and then the even greater effect of them just sort of disappearing. I love it. It's a good thing. I'm working on making you a bazillionaire. Yeah, be brilliant. Go for it. I figure anybody that can fix a faucet has everything you need. I think it's a brilliant idea, so one of you grab it. But Kirk's name came to mind instantly. Yes?
That's all.
Yes,
I just
that's
think
all.
it's good. Yeah.
Okay.
And maybe there could be seeds in it in the film that is the balloon that when it dissolves it seeds the earth or the forest.
Did you hear that? Now we want the balloon to go up, to expand, to dissolve, and to drop seeds. Would you want strange things growing in your garden because a balloon passed by just before it?
No, there would be a beautiful flower that would just appear everywhere and surprise people. Joy.
Joy.
In the sky.
We're sharing joy. Okay. Work on the details. All of you, go to work. I can think these things up. I don't necessarily know what to do with them once I've thunked them up, but there they go. So, my friends, my dears, my wonderful ones, I would like to pray. Yeah, that's what I'd like to do. And then we have our closing affirmation. So, welcome to the spiritual spa. close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. Otherwise, just soft focus. Do what's right for you. And take a nice deep breath if that feels good, or just a nice gentle breath if that's what your mind and your heart and your spirit are asking for right now. You know. And know with me that there is, in fact, a power for good in the universe, and you are using it all the time. There is a power that of its nature is good and creative and spontaneous and amazing. And it works in your world, in you, as you, and through you all the time, according to your belief. So what I know for each of us today is that those beliefs that we have held that are not in alignment with the highest truth simply dissipate now. Simply dissolve back into the nothingness from which they came. We are no longer held back by old beliefs that do not serve us. We are not. But rather holding firmly to the idea that we are a place where spirit expresses, we now reclaim our lives and our futures by knowing that the power of the universe is where we are. And that which we believe, that which we speak into life, that which we feed into our subconscious minds, that becomes our reality. For it has nothing to do but respond. And so I claim for each one of us today health and happiness and wholeness and creativity and prosperity and the revealing of the magnificence of spirit within each of us. I claim that prayers are answered for the highest good. I claim that minds are cleared so that creativity can speak through us, so that there are no detriments to our ability to create a better world for ourselves, for those we love, for the world. I know that there is nothing that stands in the way of the expression of our divine calling. Of our sweetest dreams and our deepest aspirations. And so we simply get the past out of the way and allow the truth to be revealed. We become transparent so that we do not cast a shadow, but rather let the light shine through. And all of our dreams and all of our requests are now our reality. In deepest gratitude, we allow that to be so. We get out of God's way and let it be so. And so it is.
And so it is.
I invite you to repeat after me. The universe is calling.
Universe is calling.
We are here to answer the call
We are here to answer the call
with spiritual truth,
with spiritual truth,
with spiritual action,
with spiritual action,
and with love.
and with love.
We are here
We are here
to be agents of change
to be agents of change
in our lives,
in our lives,
in our communities,
in our communities,
and in our world.
and in our world.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Hmm. Oh, Dana's posted some balloons. Here we go. And we've got, oh, good. I'm glad you posted that one. I have a new favorite song. Be sure and listen to our closing song. It's by Sugarland, so you know it's good. And it's just great. It's a fitting ending to our spiritual spa time together. I love you all. You are blessed. You are a blessing. I'll see you Wednesday.